All right, everyone, it looks like Diddy needs to start organizing his affairs because the rumors on the streets are that the FBI is after him and that Cassie is the reason he's going to get a one-way ticket to jail. According to the reports, some new accusations against him are allegedly worse than we could have ever imagined, and this time he won't be able to pay his way out of them like the last time. Civil litigation. If you guys believed that things were awful before, you best brace yourselves because things are about to turn ugly. You see, there's something that many people are unaware of. You and Kim Porter had a conversation shortly before she left, and I know that Kim had some excellent. I have advice to give you, and I think this is the reason why things are going the way they are right now. Kim was wise, wasn't she? Cassie kept you alive and safe, y'all. I promise that Diddy's situation is only getting worse. Every time we think it can't get any worse for him, the universe proves us wrong. Does everything accelerate, the case becomes more difficult, and the situation worsens? Since Cassie's lawsuit was made public, Diddy hasn't had a complete week off since his life has been filled with turmoil after drama and something that seems to crop up every day that makes him appear really horrible. Cassie alleges in her lawsuit that Diddy was accused of touching her. The case began by disclosing that she missed Venter in her own home after she repeatedly attempted to escape him. He also had her take narcotics and pimped her out to male escorts for his own amusement, among many other atrocities he did to her. Forced Miss Venter to perform an intimate act with MSWs while getting off on it and filming the encounters. Miss Venter was punched, kicked, and stumped, resulting in burst lips and black eyes, and forced to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and show how dangerous he is. Pushed her to obtain illegal prescription drugs in order to support his own addictions, leading to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and drug use. She also provided multiple examples of his physical contact with her, such as the night she and Diddy went to a club and Cassie struck up a conversation with the music manager there. Diddy became so enraged when they tried to sign with this other man that when they left the club, Mr. Calm, when the car got to Mr. Combs' house, Miss Venter shoved her into a corner and stomped on her face. Miss Venter tried to flee, but Mr. Combs pursued her and kicked her in again. The visage's anger was obvious as he led her into Mr. Combs' house, where she started to throw up after the beatings, which frequently left her with bruises. He was so determined to conceal this that he went to great lengths to do so. According to the court filing, Mr. Combs said several times a year over the following 10 years. Would repeatedly strike Miss Venter with such force that she would always have bruises on her body. Mr. Combs utilized his wealth and influence to plan concerted efforts to conceal the proof of his mistreatment, which included keeping Miss hidden in hotels for days on end so that her bruises could heal, and let's not even talk about the first occasion Mr. Combs hired a man and brought him to his Los Angeles house. The man, Mr. Combs, and Miss Venter wore masquerade masks and used drugs, according to the claims of how he used to exploit and prostitute her out in the lawsuit Cassie wrote. Mr. Combs gave Miss Venter the order to engage in sexual actions with this man. In addition to the atrocities he did to her, she also revealed how he attempted to eliminate his opponents, such as the occasion he persuaded his minions to pull up on Suge Knight while Mr. Combs watched them during the entire encounter across several days. According to the document, one of Mr. Combs' security personnel once broke in while he and Miss Venter were having sex and informed them that Mr. Combs' longtime rival, SHKN, had been spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs then started to put on clothes, claimed that Cassie was after money, and took several firearms out of a safe before fleeing his house to where he thought Mr. Knight was having dinner. His attorney then issued a statement in which he categorically refuted these offensive and ridiculous claims. Miss Venter's request. Despite her initial warning to withdraw, her offer of $30 million under the fear of writing a harmful book about her relationship was categorically refused as clear extortion. Miss Venter has now resorted to filing a lawsuit with Cassie that is full of blatant and unsubstantiated lies in an attempt to damage Mr. Combs' reputation and get a payday loan. Well, he ended up feeling unhappy in that litigation. In less than a day, and he probably believed that the case would be closed and that everyone would move on after a few days. However, the internet went crazy, and he ended up playing himself even more because people began coming forward to accuse Diddy of sexually abusing them. 3 more people came forward to pursue lawsuits against him, totaling 4. What's interesting about all four women is that they all told the same story about how Diddy allegedly got them stoned or intoxicated before sexing them. But that's not all. Diddy's longtime partner, Oprah Winfrey, also came out to admit that not only were their accusations against him likely accurate, but Diddy had also reportedly gotten close to a number of other people, including his assistant. Suge Knight claims that Capricorn learned that Cassie had dated rapper Kid Cudi following their breakup, but she chose not to reveal Cassie's secret because she was afraid of what Diddy would do. When he beat his mother, a little girl named Cassie, or something similar, he had an aide named Capricorn. He felt that Capricorn C was keeping quiet about whether or not Cassie was being menacing or not, so she was attempting to protect her. Capricorn is Lauren London's sister. Lauren and Cassie were once friends, so I suppose Capricorn was just trying to look out for her sister's friend, but it blew a big time in her face now that Sue was not capping. That is why Capricorn will cover for Cassie and risk her own safety. Because Capricorn shadowed Diddy after Cassie filed her complaint, telling him to turn back and choose a different route rather than follow the wicked or the path of the wicked. Proverbs 4:14 states that in order for doors to be unlocked, you must be prepared to give up money altogether. 2011 was terrible. She stated that black women end up being the sacrifice for the last 11 years of my life, during which I had to deal with everyone's absurd allegiance to the devil. I pray that ends, but I don't think it will. She exposed the industry for supporting Diddy's terrible behavior and covering it up while she watched him hurt women and the people around him. She then alluded to the fact that he had removed Kim Porter because Kim opposed his way of life, sharing a quote from Kim that said, "They will skin you and wear you, baby girl, then pretend. And if any of you can't keep your head down and pretend to be cool, no more. Do better." This skin was never what they desired. The only person who didn't change was Kim. At this point, I'm feeling quite traumatized, and I hope it ends soon because I never deserved this. After that, Kim Porter, who is now Capricorn, left the bad boy, but he didn't find out about the beating until recently. At the time, he stated that she had been dismissed for supposedly stealing from him, and as a result, no one hired her as an assistant, effectively ending her career. Can you even begin to understand the trauma of being physically assaulted by your boss, let alone having him damage your career? Sue revealed the scope of Inner's records for compensating Capricorn as well. Golden rule: Di wouldn't go to jail since the Osco person had an ENC check that paid her to settle before he did. The charges against him persisted, getting harsher until he eventually came out and told them to cease pursuing him because he was innocent and had broken no laws. After remaining silent for a few weeks, he issued a statement declaring, "Enough is enough. I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroying my reputation and my legacy. To be clear, I did not make any of the terrible charges that people seeking quick cash have made about me. The horrible accusations, I will battle for the truth, my family's reputation, and the truth, but once more, this simply made matters worse because additional people this time, supposedly from the FBI, were pursuing him. A few days ago, there was a blind article claiming that the FBI had supposedly opened up an investigation into Diddy, and it was all because of Cassie, who gave the FBI some incriminating evidence about Diddy. However, this was all made very interesting because, following Cassie's lawsuit bomb, Jaguar entered the ring and made an intriguing claim. Cassie met in secret with Kim Porter shortly before Kim's passing. Jaguars leaked the details, alleging that during the covert meeting, Kim gave Cassie some damning information about Diddy. Cassie then allegedly weaponized the information to escape Diddy's control. Now, here's something most people are unaware of. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit-down shortly before she left. Additionally, the blind item also claimed that Cassie allegedly took this classified information. Kim was wise, wasn't she? Cassie kept you safe and alive. Congratulations on surviving and standing up. I know Kim gave you some very wise advice, and I think this is why things are happening the way they are right now. Information and gave it to the FBI. The FBI has reportedly expressed interest in the issue and is reportedly looking into Diddy, so it must have been something extremely serious because Cassie is said to have given evidence to the authorities, including videotapes, a USB drive, and Kim Porter's burner phone. Was eventually persuaded to turn over the audio and video recordings that included footage of parties and other private gatherings with some pretty powerful and well-known people. What's more, she turned over a burner phone and USBs that belonged to Kim Porter that contained evidence implicating Diddy. I've heard there are many politicians who are also artists and performers who are scheduled to be arrested for H10 and EXP exposed. Okay, so I'm paraphrasing there. I know some of you are probably thinking that Kim Porter would never have revealed that knowledge to Cassie and all that, but consider this. Cassie was directly aware of the experiences that Kim had shared. Diddy, in addition, as it turns out, Diddy has been under federal investigation before. Back in 2013, there were rumors that he was being looked into by the police for having an inappropriate relationship with young boys. If Diddy became suspicious, he wouldn't consider Cassie as a possible safe haven for Kim. A prosecutor was subsequently questioned about the entertainer's intimate preferences, including but not limited to whether Sean Diddy Combs was having intimate relationships with underage boys during a debriefing session with federal investigators, according to reports. James Roseman, the music manager turned cocaine kingpin, was reportedly questioned about the sexual preferences of entertainers. Sean is seen engaging in close connections with boys who are underage. There's a lot to digest here, and people have undoubtedly been commenting with all kinds of things like thank God Cassie spoke up and shared her story, adding that his goon and contacts found her and she returned, so you can't rhyme or talk sense to a narcissist such as him. I can only imagine the dread she endures. Based on previous comments, it seems like all of these people collaborated with the feds before making any accusations, so the agents could truly surprise this man with a house search. She should have struck him for a quadruple of what she received. Think about all the evidence that Cassie must have destroyed by now. The wealthy and powerful are shielding Diddy because once he goes down, he'll sing like a dang. By the time they get anything, everything will be destroyed except for what Kim P said. Canary in every way. This drama is obviously telling us what we're supposed to hear, so I need to hear from you all on what you think. These predators are about to be exposed, and I'm here to safeguard the kids through it all.